Hi, it's Teresa. Taking you for a drive today. Well, not really. I'm going to Fortune Harbour to my friend's cabin. So anyway, I'm driving by myself and I figured I'd prop the phone up and I'd take a video. Right? Because, you know, sometimes you're struggling with trying to find a time. Well, I says that like everybody's struggling to find time to make a video to post on the internet. Yeah. Anyway, this is a lovely angle for you, I'm sure. And the lighting's not great, but it is what it is. I figure we have a laugh on my drive down. I like driving by myself. Do you? Like I do. I just think this I don't know, it's relaxing. Like you know, run away in your thoughts. That's what I does anyway. But that's what my mind's constantly going all the time. I'm like, you know, I can talk to myself for hours and hours and hours. I don't think I'd ever get bored. As I wish you could see, but like it's just so pretty. I'm gonna show you a few clips, I suppose. I don't know, but it's just too. But I don't want to stop. See, and I can't be at my phone, so don't worry. I'm not being dangerous or anything like that. I'm just talking away to you like you were in the car with me. Imagine. Yeah, but like I just figured that it's just propped up there. I'm not like paying attention to it or nothing like that. So I'm not looking at ye. Just what I want to be at. But yeah. So what are we going to talk about? Boys, I love driving through small towns in Newfoundland. Everybody waves to you. What they're really thinking now is, who in the world's that now? Where's she going? They wants to know. That's what my grandmother was like. She had to know where everyone was going and what they were doing. She knew more about what was going on the street than I did. She used to go look out the window and she was like, boy, you know, that crowd over there don't eat. And I'm like, what? She says, nobody never ever sees them going with food. Never sees them bring groceries in. She said, I don't see them to have any takeout. But imagine watching your neighbors that close that you knew what they were eating. Grandmother had never been off the island, right? And everything outside of Newfoundland to her was Toronto or Fort McMurray. Like, where did you live? Toronto or Fort McMurray? I live in Manitoba. And she was like, well, is that in Toronto or Fort McMurray? I guess that's all she had ever heard of. And I mean, she had never been off the island. She didn't know. My grandmother had an amazing story. And in her last few years, I mean, she told a lot of it to me. And when she was 9 years old, a man came over to the house and said, you know, my wife had just recently passed. I don't know what I'm going to do with the youngsters. Because men, I guess, didn't take care of kids. And he had to work. And, you know, so he had no one left to take care of the kids. And my great-grandfather said she'll take Carmel. Imagine, it just like, and at 9 years old, she left her home to take care of this man's children. 9 years old. In order to get up on the break, she used to have to stand on books to stand to the counter to wash the dishes. Imagine, like, can you imagine a 9-year-old of today doing that? Like, going into somebody's house and being the mom. Like, unfathomable. And so she was uneducated for that reason, and you know, you can't blame her for that. And there was just a sweetness to it, and there just I don't know, she was very childlike, and I believe it was because she never really did grow up in the traditional way. She never had a childhood. So, you know, she used to get so excited at Christmas time. She was just like a child. And I get a lot of my traits from her because I'm the same way. I am very childlike, and I'm the one who's acting a fool in public. But, you know, now Nan would never do that. She never ever had the same sense of humor. Like, I think I mentioned that to you guys before. She just, it was like she didn't get it, right? She didn't get what you were laughing at. And so it was, you know, it was hard to understand. Like, when the Malaysian Airlines went down, remember years ago when they never found out what happened to that plane, right? She was convinced that it was kids with their hockey bags weighing down the plane, and that's why they went down. Now, no explaining to her that, you know, not a lot of Malaysian hockey players, and there was no talk of a team on board, right? But that was Nan. God love her. And then there was another time when there was another time when we were watching TV and a basketball game was on. She was like, oh, stop. She goes, turn that back. She said, Kim's playing today. And I was like, Kim? And I said, that's not Kim's game. And she goes, yeah. She said she plays basketball. And I said, yes, but that's not Kim. And she goes, but she's playing today. And I said, well, Nan, that's the NBA, right? Like that's professional players that are down in the United States, and they're all men. My female cousin Kim, who plays for UCCB, is not like there. Anyway, it was no convincing her. I said, sure, they're men. And she's like, yeah, but you know, she plays with men. I'm like, yes, I know, but Nan, she's not there, right? Like, anyway, it was just priceless. God love her. Another funny Nan story I got was when my father retired from work. He had everybody over to the house, right? And he was father was right emotional. He just wanted to thank everybody for coming and tell everybody how happy he was and whatever. It was a big moment for Dad. And there were people in the room who were crying. It was just really sweet. Anyway, Nan was in the living room, oblivious to the fact that Dad was even giving a speech because she couldn't hear. And she lapped into Dad's retirement cake and goes, "My, that's some dark chocolate. My Susan, where in the world you get that cake?" And everybody busted, and people went from crying over Dad to crying tears. And Nan looked up and looked at everybody laughing, not knowing what in the world that was so funny. And anyway, she was like, what? And we were just like, oh, you know, no, Dad's just giving a speech. And she was like, where'd you get the cake? Anyway, it was just a funny moment. Not very often I'm going to do a video in the car because I'm rarely driving by myself like this. So, you know, anyway, it's like I got to keep following you because it keeps moving on me. Anyway, and it's not safe for me to be paying attention to that, so I'm not doing it. And I figured that if I could sit and talk away without dropping the phone. See? Anyway, boys, see ya.